Checking to make sure I'm alive. Am I alive? I'm in the yellow. I want to be in the green, right? Can I be in the green? So there it is. Today's stream of thought. Putting it out there. ALM or BLM or if that's not permissible, maybe I can go on to 5. 5 is alive. And I asked the big G, you know who I'm talking about, for music. Yeah. So, today is July 15th, 2020. I'm here in California, in the San Joaquin Valley. And I got a green light. I'm alive. And as for the day, it's kind of starts out like it did back on the 8th of July, where I was asking, what is real? What is lies? I was asking, are you ready? Are you sure? And then I tripped up, as I often do when I try to put things into perspective, into where they belong, I guess, the right place, the bigger picture. Me, I let go. Let go. Welcome to the channel. I'm here dreaming reality with God. And if you're here, you are too. So, I'm not happy. I'm not right now. I am a witness to the world I am in. Did I ask to come here? I think that's a deep question. I think it's an intelligent question to ask. Whether there's an answer to that or not, that's something completely different. But to ask it, it's intelligent. The world that I ask to come into this world, to be here, to be witness, all alone, unable to change a thing. I can say that because I am witness to so many others who are being told in real time what they can say and what they will not say. That's the reality I'm in. A reality that I have no say over. I can't speak out. I mean, that's what it's coming down to. I'm listening to music, by the way. I wish I could share it with you. Just random music. I have a playlist. 108 hours and a half worth of random shuffled music. I recommend all viewers have music playing when they listen. And if it can be random, that's even better. Just an idea to toss out there before I continue onwards. ALM or BLM. Now obviously I cannot speak on behalf of BLM in that I am clearly Caucasian. I'm mixed. I have my grandfather was Filipino, so that's a part of me. But I can't speak for BLM. I just can't, and that's not something that I would attempt to speak on. I hope you're not thinking about that still, because I've moved on. It makes perfect sense to me in my mind why I am where I am in my thought process, where I stand, which, before I go on, let me just say and remind you all to wake up, stand up. And once you're doing that, I'm standing right now. Speak up. Speak up. It's the best thing you can do for you right now, this moment in time, which is quickly changing. The rules are changing very quickly. You have the opportunity to do all three of those right now. Hope you are. So, back to my question, ALM or BLM, A or B? It's a simple question. You could look at it mathematically even. I'm just trying to keep it simple. A and B. Those are the two answers. A is all colors, all. That distinction is being clearly set. In place, firmly, to be stood upon. All. That's answer A. Answer B does not include all colors. Which I am at a loss as to why one chooses B over A, in so far as what they simply mean on a piece of paper with the number 2 pencil and 2 answers. I'm willing to go so far as to include a third answer instead of either or. Maybe the answer is and. A and B. Now again, I say that, I can accept that as an answer, but both A and B have to be representative of what they are staking a claim to, what they are standing on. What do I mean? See, this is just so unreal. It's unreal. Now, I'm 53 years old. And my life has been, for the most part, lived in poverty. Not getting ahead, not just surviving, living, not so much. Now, I never spent much time thinking about people as far as color went, as much as I saw people as being either with money or without money. Those are the two for me. Still are. Rich or poor. Color, not so much. the poor, being poor kind of it's slavery. You feel owned because you're stuck. Really, you're not. You're surviving. Not living. There's a difference. The high life, the rich life, and the poor life. Always hoping. Now I realize that I'm not in a country where I'm afforded the things I have in the space that I have. I have a small space. I feel it's a small space. And I have things that I have acquired in those 53 years of life. Nothing extravagant. Just things that I like. Things that make me think and wonder, remember, memories. So I'm not in some country where I don't have all those things that I have. Even being poor. I think a lot of people are in the place that they are because of the choices they make with what money they have. I try not so hard not to go into the money thing because it is at the root of it all. Seems to be. It just has its feelers of reaching out and making contact with anything and everything. Back to the whole color thing. Again, I didn't grow up in a big city. I grew up in a small town for the most part. The first memories I have would be a town called Kerman. And I would have been 4 years old. 4 or 5. And it didn't have a mall or anything like that. They only had a very few stores. It was very small, not very many people. Farm town. Most of the people in that area here in California in the valley are growing grapes. Lots and lots of grapes. Anyway, maybe that has something to do with why I am at a loss right now to understand what's going on and what's being allowed to go on. From a very, very young, from kindergarten, if not earlier, some preschool, there has always been a person of color in the class that I was in, and not once did I think of think of it as a bad thing. I don't know what night it came on TV, but you had Good Times. Loved the show. Laughed. What I'm trying to say is that for me, I've never had thoughts that I saw these people of color as being different than me. I felt like we're all trying to get ahead. I'm not trying to down them. I don't feel like they're trying to down me. And I grew up, went through grade school, into junior high and high school, even a little college, and never had this feeling that's in the air right now. I've had friends, best friends. I've interacted romantically with two of color in my years. I'm blown away right now by what I am witness to. All of you. I think what's got me going is I am all about all lives matter. They do. That's the message. If there is a message that this planet needs, this planet has to have in order to unite, to heal, to be one, is all lives matter. ALM. That's the simplest answer. It's the best answer. The best. The bestest. You know it is. You know it is. BLM. Unreal. You can't say all lives matter, because to say all lives matter is when you do so in front of one who says, who speaks, who stands for BLM, you are taking away from their cause, their call to the world, to the nations. This is who we are from this moment onward. Which I totally get that part of the message. The part I don't seem to be sitting well with is the message itself. what it has become, what it has been twisted into. Money does that, always does. Power. Yeah, I could just so break free, break out, let loose with a piece of my mind. WTF. Know what I'm talking about? WTF. And that's going out to all the politicians. A lot of these mayors, I'm just struggling with how mayors are reacting in their cities, their counties. The words that are coming out of their mouths. This is unreal. It's unfair. Because the media is all money, and the great majority, it's that whole pyramid scheme that we've been aware of. For me, I can say the 70s is, I don't know how long it had been going on. It seemed to be catching on pretty big in the 70s. That's because I was growing up. I was in my teens in the 70s, turned 10 in 77. So I was pretty aware of the world and the pyramid. It's always been there. You got the mystery of the Great Pyramid. Then you got the food pyramid. And a health pyramid, I'm sure. And you got this money pyramid. Money-making scheme to make money, this pyramid. Anyway, that's where we're at. That whole motion, that whole scheme, that method for generating income has been around pretty much from the beginning of the system and use of money. So there we are. Here we are. The money is calling all the shots, because the media, for the most part, and you can look at it and that visualize the pyramid, and somebody owns more than one network above, so they're above on that pyramid. Gets to a point where the media that is flowing out for consumption is very, trying to be polite, it's streamlined, for you. It's all about you. I get it though. All about you. They don't want to cause you any unnecessary turmoil. And for a moment, my mind flashes on the money in far as the whole legal system and lawsuits and slander and just the whole slew, all the legal mumbo jumbo to that comes with representing you, your defense for the record. That's why I'm here streaming right now. It's all for the record. A or B. A and B. The media and the public allows for it to happen, for it to be, because they could easily, very easily, wake up, stand up, and speak up. Be heard. If you're not doing any of those, all three, they're never going to hear you. That's the problem. Right now, it's amazing in this day and age, the snap of a finger, that so many choose not to. Wake up, stand up, and speak up. It's the truth. It's the honest to God's truth. Honest to God. TNT for the brain. Enigma is playing right now. I should have been rattling off all the songs that played as they played. I'm using the music. I'm having a conversation in my mind with the music, with this presence that I talk about in my streams. And right now, real time, as I'm having the conversation that I'm having about ALM or BLM. I've heard them band together, and here where I live near a park, city park, downtown, court, house park. And they more than once have took a stroll and chanted BLM, BLM. Me, when I hear that, because I'm here right now, I'm in front of this microphone, and I have a switch and a knob, and I can turn up the volume and play it out, and I would be saying in response to every time I would hear BLM, you would have been able to hear me saying ALM. ALM. Now, it's in the conscious stream of the world now that a young woman in her 20s, with a child, young child, baby practically so young, to understand, to have to think and understand what just happened. Their mom is gone because their mom said in response to somebody that believes in BLM, period, and to say anything else is it distracts and takes away from the message that they're trying to get out to the world, I guess. And this young individual feels in their heart that the answer, the intelligent answer for peace, for world peace, is all lives matter. BLM. Where are these people when it comes to all the slavery that's going on right now in the world? Around the world, there are slaves. I don't hear them trying to use their wisdom in rising up and changing the system as it was, which is no longer the system in this country that it was. Why are they not using that wisdom to work towards eliminating the slavery that is rampant in the world right now? Missing people. People go missing all the time. And then there's countries that slavery is not, they don't look at it, I guess, like they do in this country, the way it used to be, where it was practiced, but it no longer is. Although, if we want to bring the conversation up a notch, we can bring money back into this conversation, because the money has become a new way of slavery, ownership over another. That's why I said earlier in this stream that I have a sense, anyway, of viewing the world that I am witness to as everyone, all of us. It's all of us. Are slaves to the money. It owns us, doesn't it? Right now, more than ever, you got this whole coronavirus. I'm in California, where we are, I guess you'd say, we're in lockdown 2. Back to where we were in a lot of ways. Stay home. Places that were opened up are now closed back down. Keep wearing that mask. The numbers are rising. You know, I don't know what to say about California. It's like a teeter-totter. I think the state is like a teeter-totter. That's what I picture it as. Up and down, up and down. I like teeter-totters. Haven't been on one in a while, but there's some great teeter-totters out there. I'm not changing the subject. It's a complex subject. It's blowing my mind because I am witness again to what is taking place. That woman with a young child is dead. She's dead. Somebody shot her, killed her, because she believed all lives matter. So much that she stood up and spoke up and said that, shared that. That's where I am. Which in itself should, how can that individual be looked at as an enemy? If that's where they stand, and they have, for the record, made it clear, all lives matter. You really have to step back, take a deep breath, and hold it in. Hold it in for as long as you can. And then let it out. And then take another breath in. And you don't have to hold that one as long. And then try to wrap your head around what's going on in the world right now. Why is that woman dead? Why is she being looked at as an enemy? And the media, for the most part, that's the image that they tend to lean towards, to put out there into your thoughts. That's why these mayors and these lawyers and prosecutors, and I'm like, are you just mad? Are you loco en la cabeza? See? What the hell? How can some of these people present the image out there, public figures, promoting, implying that the person that died because they believed all lives matter, it's no big deal, okay? But don't talk about it, because it's nothing. Doesn't mean anything. Just let it go. Yeah, that's the scary part, because it's working for the most part. The mass quantities, viewing the public as quantities, and the mass quantities are buying it. They just are. Because I'm not seeing enough people standing up. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on, what color you are. Now is the time to be standing up for your right to be here. You as a mind, a thinking mind, a thought, a possibility, a dream of what can be. And again, who am I? That's the problem. There is nothing that unifies the planet, the world. There's no one thought that we are all working towards together. One thing that we all recognize and acknowledge and give up a few minutes of our day focused with this thought, with this idea, like the music, Prism of Life, some more Enigma playing. I could go on and on. The whole ALM, BLM is... How can these politicians not be saying... Nobody's saying anything about manure. To put it kindly. That's kind of scary. It really is. I mean, I'm just kind of sitting back and taking it all in and thinking... Man, people. Can't you see? Can't you hear? Can you smell it? It's just so thick in the air. Something ain't right. See, we've come to a point in time, though, where you can't even say that, because to say that, if you go any farther than that, putting implication on a thing to answer, then that thing is now being attacked. Doesn't matter if it's a living or non-living thing. So you can't do that. It's offensive. I mean, I'm telling you, that's what we're coming to. It's being put in place as I speak, as any of those out there who are speaking. Start thinking about winding this down. I'm trying to keep these around an hour. I feel like I go too much farther. It's hard to not stray. To start thinking and talking about other things and trying to tie everything in and do it in as little time as possible. This whole ALM BLM is, again, it's a mind F. It's unreal. And then to see the video, the things that are taking place, that the media, for the most part, is not sharing. Just how people are behaving, the things people are doing to each other, the murdering, the fighting, all I can say, right now, this whole presidency thing, to me, I think a recent change in my thoughts on the whole process is a very recent. Up to that point, I could see myself voting, but then I got to a point where I said to myself, what's the point? Which is what I've been saying for my whole life. What's the point of voting? Especially if there's this whole coronavirus and more people are getting it, and how can you have a presidential a vote? I mean, if this is like an emergency, that should be what's dealt with. And whoever's dealing with the emergency at that time, they should be sticking through it, finishing it out. What the hell? This is one thing I don't get about the whole government process. Some things are just retarded. I'll say it. I know that's one of those words you can't say, but I'll say it. Because it is what it is. There's a lot of things that are happening that are not making a whole lot of sense. They're not making any sense. And it's not just the people out on the streets going crazy, it's the people in positions of power allowing it to be, sanctioning it, yet at the same time punishing people that are trying to protect themselves from it, from the lawlessness. You know, I feel like, sorry, I need to hang here for a minute while I go change my chonies because I just dropped a big deuce. What the hell? Are you know what, me? It's hard to, because who am I to be here speaking to any of these mayors or politicians, whatever they're in, that are connected to these areas that are having these things happen and the reactions that are coming out of it. The people that put them there are in the same boat. So I have to be asking myself, focused on them as well, asking, what's going on in your mind? How can you justify that? This is something that doesn't have anything to do with color. This has to do with the taking of a life. And all the person said that died, was killed, was murdered, was all life matters. I know that's just so effing insane to say that thought. Who the F am I, right? Right? That's what's spilling out into the airways, onto the roads. The media is... Why is the media not putting this out there? Why are they filtering it, censoring it when they can? Because they know that anybody with a thinking mind is going to have that aha moment. The light bulb is going to explode. And they're going to get it. They're going to realize what's going on. And it's going to piss them off. The truth will set you free. I gotta switch gears on that whole matter. I'm an ALM. I'm in that camp. I've been in that camp for my whole life. little boy, far back as I can remember. That's the image that's been in my mind. Aside from the whole rich man, poor man. The two distinct classes. Yeah, I'll probably have to come back to the whole matter. I'm sure I already knew I've upset people. I probably got hits out on me now, because that's what happens to people like that. Little itch there. That's what happens if you think that thought. You feed on it, if you share it. You're an enemy. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. I mean, it doesn't get any... I mean, I was struggling with C-3PO, now has the silver leg and always has. Because in my mind, he was all gold. And I struggled with that. Now it's like I'm in that same boat still with reality. Things are not like I remembered them. Something's different. Something's changed. What the hell is going on? I think for me it was kind of good. I was in that Mandela effect boat. That I went through that I connected with it. I thought about it, wondered. It led me to a place that I think is allowing the situation to not be easier, but because what's happening is happening. It's gonna happen. It's unstoppable. But knowing that, you can take advantage of knowing that in controlling to a degree how you interact with that movement. Nose is a little itchy there, like something's crawling on my nose. That's another one of those roads that I could go down. It's an endless conversation. And I've already been here for an hour, and I didn't even get to 5 is Alive. You see my shirt? I got my shirt on. Got my InfoWars shirt. Picked up a few shirts, and this is one. 5G. I'm sure that's already set off the bells, the algorithms that are listening, filters that are in place. You can't say certain things. This is one of those that's very sensitive. That's why I kind of put my title the way it was. 5 is Alive. And Big G for a song. And Big G is God, just to make it simple. This presence that I am interacting with. I have a building relationship. And I look at it, I see it, I view it, I move with it the same way I would with any relationship that I would be in as far as a friendship goes. A friendship, interacting, conversations back and forth, learning about one another. I recognize that this presence is not human. So the conversation that is taking place, the music is only one aspect of it. Music is nice because it's easy to begin to see a conversation. You can put words, and you have the images, you have the album the album art, things that you can kind of fill your mind with as you begin to have a feeling, because it's a feeling, right? It's how any interaction I've ever had with another works with feelings, and it's no different with this presence, this intelligence, ET, God. I like to keep it simple, and I think at its core that this is, if there were such a thing as God, this is it. This presence is God, to the best of our ability to understand what it is and accept that and embrace it. It's not easy. We as a peoples have a big problem with self. This young woman is dead. She was shot in the head. Okay, she leaves behind a little girl. A lot of these mayors are like, oh, boo-hoo, some white woman lost her. And the whole point of that whole way of tossing that out there for the public to consume is because in their minds they're thinking of all the people that they have been witness to or know of that are dead, they got shot. We've been seeing all these children being shot, innocent children. Why? It's unreal. It's going to have to stop. And if there are any leaders out there, they need to stand up and say something about what's going on, because it's not good. It's not, and to cover it up, to manipulate, that's the scary part, to thinking out how out of control this is, how beyond anyone's control this is. There is an agenda in place, in motion, unstoppable. They don't give a flying F. If it wasn't so high up, I'd grab it. I have a flying F. Remote controlled. They don't. Okay. I went back at, I went over an hour. I'm thinking that I will do another stream tomorrow. I kind of want to continue this one and get more into the 5G and the lockdown. I think there's a lot going on right now that it's like I want to say, I think it makes all this conspiracy theory stuff that's been out there floating around in the public subconsciousness for decades now, that stuff pales in comparison to the truths that are on the horizon. I think that this, what's her name? Ghislaine Maxwell. I think that that's a Pandora's box that's it has potential. I'm gonna put it that way, to open up so much more than just what is there on the surface in the minds of many. And I'm in my mind thinking, it's almost like one of those things where you gotta know the people that are pulling all the strings are some things better left unsaid, hidden away? And who has that right to make that distinction? I think that's where we're at, what's going to be playing out. They're saying a year for a trial, a year away, and I was kind of, in my mind, I'm thinking, there's just some things there should be a certain sense of prioritizing, and this is one of those that I feel is 100% qualifies, meets all the criteria for going to the front of the line. Let's take care of this now, thank you. It's our money, taxpayers' money. The people want to know, not a year from now. I would go so far as to say, if that's the case, I question if she'll even be alive a year from now, because of the money. People can do whatever they want with the money. And people will do things for money. That's the other part of the equation. That's a mind blower. The things people will do, the jobs they'll take for $1. That's why I say the tip of the iceberg, this Miss Maxwell. And it's easy for me to come to that because I'm witness to this world where I'm seeing people doing things to one another that just, this is not reality. Not the reality that I remember. I remember a reality where I thought we all wanted a better world for everybody, especially in this country, the United States. That's a message that I feel has been with me, that has fostered in me throughout my entire life. Wow, it's playing a lot of Enigma. It's weird. It's on random too. Silent Warrior from the Cross of Changes. That's what's playing right now. Hopefully that don't get me docked. I had 2 seconds there. I wasn't saying anything, so they can mute it if need be. Tomorrow. I think I'm gonna, tomorrow night, tomorrow night, which would be today. Same time, tomorrow night, 1 o'clock in the morning, I started this stream. I'm usually in bed by now. Okay, where's the stop button? Thanks for coming. Thoughts to think about. Change. It just said the word change in the song. Big change is coming. It's here. It's mind-blowing what's going on. Be well. Be safe and smile.